Good evening, I'm Andrea Gates, and we have urgent news from the Israel-Lebanon border. Reports indicate that 8 Israeli soldiers have been killed in combat as Israel escalates its military operations against the Hezbollah armed group in southern Lebanon. This marks the deadliest day for the Israeli military in over a year amidst ongoing clashes along the border. According to Hezbollah, their fighters are actively engaging Israeli forces within Lebanon, with reports of ground confrontations for the first time since the recent escalation began. Hezbollah claims to have successfully targeted and destroyed 3 Israeli Merkava tanks near the border town of Maroun el-Ras, intensifying fears of further violence in the region. In a recent condolence video, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the nation, stating, "We are at the height of a difficult war against Iran's axis of evil, which wants to destroy us." He emphasized the need for unity, adding, "With God's help, we will win together." The Israeli military has announced that both regular infantry and armored units are intensifying ground operations in Lebanon. This comes on the heels of a significant missile attack from Iran, which launched over 180 missiles into Israeli territory. The scale of this attack has raised alarm bells regarding the potential for a wider conflict in the oil-rich region. Iran has announced that its recent missile barrage, the largest ever directed at Israel, has concluded at least for now unless further provoked. However, both Israel and the United States have vowed to retaliate strongly against any further attacks. In a tragic development, a 38-year-old Palestinian from Gaza has been confirmed as the only known casualty from Iran's missile strikes. Samek Eder Hassan al-Asali was killed by debris from a missile while staying at a Palestinian Security Forces compound in the West Bank during Tuesday's assault. Israeli officials stated that their air defense systems largely thwarted the missile attack. As the situation remains volatile, the international community is calling for immediate de-escalation to prevent further loss of life. Hezbollah has reported successfully repelling Israeli forces near several border towns and has launched rockets at military positions inside Israel. The group's media chief, Mohammed Afif, declared these encounters as just the first round, asserting that Hezbollah possesses ample fighters, weapons, and ammunition to continue resisting Israeli advances. In response, Israel has reinforced its ground operations by deploying infantry and armored units from its 36th Division, including the Golani Brigade and the 188th Armored Brigade. This suggests a potential expansion of military activities beyond previous commando raids. While the Israeli military has stated that its current operations focus on dismantling tunnels and infrastructure along the border, it has issued evacuation orders for approximately 24 towns near the southern border, instructing residents to move north of the Awali River, located about 37 miles from the frontier. Early Wednesday, Israel renewed its bombardment of Beirut's southern suburbs, launching over a dozen airstrikes targeting what it claimed were Hezbollah positions. Additionally, Israeli forces conducted an airstrike on a residential building in the Meza suburb of Damascus, Syria, resulting in the deaths of 3 civilians and injuring 3 others, according to Syrian state media. This attack is part of Israel's long-standing campaign against Iranian-linked targets in Syria. Casualty figures continue to rise in Lebanon, with over 1,900 people reported killed and more than 9,000 injured amid nearly a year of cross-border fighting. Caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati announced that approximately 1.2 million Lebanese have been displaced due to the violence. Malika Joma, a Sudanese refugee, shared her harrowing experience of seeking shelter in a church in Beirut after fleeing her home near Sidon. She expressed gratitude for the church's assistance, highlighting the danger of returning home amid ongoing strikes. Iran has characterized its recent missile assault on Israel as retaliation for Israeli actions against militant leaders and for the ongoing conflict with Hamas. In a stern warning, Iran's armed forces stated that any Israeli response would result in vast destruction. According to Israeli officials cited by U.S. news outlet Axios, Israel is preparing for a significant retaliation against Iran's attacks, which may include strikes on all production facilities and other strategic sites. The Biden administration is coordinating with Israel on a potential response while recognizing the precarious situation in the Middle East, which U.S. Deputy Secretary Kurt Campbell described as being on a knife's edge, President Biden held discussions with G7 leaders to formulate a united response, including new sanctions against Tehran. The G7 expressed strong concern over the crisis but emphasized the importance of pursuing diplomatic solutions. As the situation escalates, many Iranians express fear of potential repercussions, recalling the devastating impacts of past conflicts. Amid this uncertainty, public sentiment reflects anxiety about the future as both nations brace for possible retaliatory actions. We will keep you updated on this evolving situation.